Welcome to our deep dive into the peer review process in biomedical research. Peer review stands as a cornerstone of scientific integrity, ensuring that only high-quality, credible research makes its way into the scientific community. In this video, we'll explore what peer review is, why it's essential, and how it shapes the biomedical field. From the initial manuscript submission to the final publication, every step is designed to uphold rigorous standards. Let's begin by understanding the basics of peer review and its pivotal role in advancing medical science. Peer review is a process where experts in the same field evaluate a research manuscript before it is published. This critical assessment helps verify the validity, significance, and originality of the research. In biomedical research, peer review acts as a filter, ensuring that only studies meeting high scientific standards are shared with the world. The process involves multiple reviewers who provide feedback, suggest improvements, and sometimes recommend rejection if the work doesn't meet the criteria. This system maintains trust in published scientific findings. The importance of peer review in biomedical research cannot be overstated. It acts as a quality control mechanism, catching errors, biases, or unsupported claims before they reach the public. Peer review also encourages researchers to present their work clearly and thoroughly, knowing it will be scrutinized by their peers. This process not only protects the integrity of scientific literature but also fosters trust among healthcare professionals, policymakers, and the public who rely on accurate biomedical information. There are several types of peer review used in biomedical research. The most common are single-blind, double-blind, and open peer review. In single-blind review, reviewers know the authors' identities, but authors don't know the reviewers. In double-blind, neither party knows the other's identity, which helps reduce bias. Open peer review reveals both identities, promoting transparency. Each type has its advantages and challenges, and journals choose the method that best fits their goal. Peer review process begins when a researcher submits a manuscript to a biomedical journal. The submission includes the research paper data and any supplementary materials. Authors must follow the journal's guidelines closely, as incomplete or improperly formatted submissions can be rejected before review. Once submitted, the manuscript enters the editorial system, where it awaits initial screening. This step marks the official start of the peer review journey. After submission, the manuscript undergoes editorial screening. Here, journal editors check for basic requirements such as originality, relevance, and adherence to ethical standards. If the manuscript passes this initial check, it moves forward to the peer review stage. If not, it may be returned to the author for revisions or outright rejection. This step ensures that only suitable and promising research is sent to expert reviewers, saving time and resources for everyone involved. Once a manuscript passes editorial screening, the editor selects reviewers. These are experts in the relevant biomedical field, chosen for their knowledge and impartiality. Editors often look for reviewers with experience in the specific topic of the manuscript. The selection process is crucial, as the quality of the review depends on the expertise and fairness of the reviewers. Sometimes authors can suggest or exclude potential reviewers, but the final decision rests with the editor. After identifying suitable reviewers, the editor sends out invitations. Reviewers are asked if they are available and willing to assess the manuscript. They consider their expertise, workload, and any potential conflicts of interest before accepting. If a reviewer declines, the editor must find alternatives, which can delay the process. Once enough reviewers agree, the manuscript is officially under review, moving closer to a decision. With reviewers on board, the peer review process officially begins. Reviewers read the manuscript carefully, evaluating its methodology, data analysis, results, and conclusions. They check for scientific rigor, originality, and relevance to the field. Reviewers also look for ethical concerns such as proper patient consent or animal welfare. Their feedback is detailed and constructive, aimed at improving the quality of the research. Key part of peer review is assessing the research methodology. Reviewers examine whether the study design is appropriate for the research question and if the methods are described clearly enough to be replicated. They look for potential biases, sample size adequacy, and the validity of the experimental procedures. Strong methodology is essential for reliable results, and reviewers often suggest improvements if weaknesses are found. Viewers pay close attention to how data is analyzed. They check if the statistical methods are appropriate and correctly applied. Proper data analysis is crucial for drawing valid conclusions from the research. If the analysis is flawed or unclear, reviewers may request clarification or recommend additional analyses. This scrutiny helps ensure that the study's findings are robust and trustworthy. Results and conclusions section is another focal point for reviewers. They assess whether the results are presented clearly and if the conclusions are supported by the data. Reviewers look for overstatements or unsupported claims, ensuring that the research stays within the boundaries of its findings. This step helps prevent the spread of exaggerated or misleading information in biomedical literature. Ethics play a vital role in biomedical research. Reviewers check for compliance with ethical standards, such as informed consent from participants and humane treatment of animals. They also look for potential conflicts of interest or issues with data integrity, ensuring ethical conduct protects research subjects and maintains public trust in scientific findings. After evaluating the manuscript, reviewers provide recommendations to the editor. These typically fall into categories such as accept, minor revision, major revision, or reject. Reviewers justify their recommendations with detailed comments, highlighting strengths and weaknesses. Their input guides the editor's decision and helps authors understand how to improve their work. Editor reviews all feedback from the peer reviewers and makes a decision about the manuscript. This decision could be acceptance, rejection, or a request for revisions. Editors weigh the reviewers' comments, the quality of the research, and the journal's standards. Their decision is communicated to the authors, often accompanied by anonymized reviewer comments for transparency. Revisions are requested, authors must respond to each reviewer comment. This involves making changes to the manuscript and providing a detailed response letter explaining how each concern was addressed. Authors may also justify why certain suggestions were not followed. This back-and-forth dialogue helps refine the research and ensures that all issues are resolved before publication. After authors submit their revised manuscript, it may go back to the original reviewers for another round of evaluation. Reviewers check if their concerns have been addressed and if the manuscript has improved. This iterative process can repeat several times until the reviewers and editor are satisfied with the quality and accuracy of the research. Once all revisions are complete and the manuscript meets the journal's standards, it is accepted for publication. The editor notifies the authors and the manuscript moves into the production phase. Acceptance is a significant milestone, marking the end of a rigorous journey and the beginning of the research's impact on the biomedical community. After acceptance, the manuscript enters production. This stage involves formatting, copy editing, and proofreading to ensure the article is clear and error-free. Authors may be asked to review proofs and approve the final version. Once complete, the article is published online or in print, making it accessible to the global scientific community. Peer review process doesn't end with publication. Post-publication review allows the scientific community to continue evaluating the research. Readers can raise questions, point out errors, or suggest further studies. This ongoing scrutiny helps maintain the accuracy and relevance of biomedical literature over time. Open access journals have changed the landscape of peer review in biomedical research. These journals make articles freely available to everyone, increasing the visibility and impact of research. Peer review remains rigorous, but the open access model allows for broader dissemination and faster sharing of scientific knowledge. Preprints are research papers shared publicly before peer review. In biomedical research, preprints allow for rapid dissemination of findings and early feedback from the community. While preprints are not peer-reviewed, they can spark discussion and help authors improve their work before formal submission to a journal. Despite its strengths, peer review faces several challenges. These include reviewer bias, delays, and inconsistencies in feedback. Sometimes finding qualified reviewers can be difficult, leading to longer publication times. Journals and researchers are constantly seeking ways to improve the process and address these issues for more efficient and fair reviews. Reviewer bias can affect the fairness of peer review. Bias may stem from personal beliefs, competition, or conflicts of interest. Double-blind review helps reduce bias by keeping identities anonymous. Journals also provide guidelines and training to reviewers to promote objectivity and fairness throughout the process. Proper training is essential for effective peer review. Journals offer workshops, guidelines, and resources to help reviewers understand their responsibilities. Training covers how to evaluate research critically, provide constructive feedback, and avoid common pitfalls. Well-trained reviewers contribute to higher quality and more consistent peer reviews. Transparency is increasingly valued in peer review. Some journals publish reviewer comments alongside articles or reveal reviewer identities. This openness can improve accountability and trust in the review process. However, it also requires careful management to protect reviewers from undue pressure or backlash. Technology is transforming peer review in biomedical research. Online submission systems, plagiarism detection tools, and artificial intelligence help streamline the process. These tools can identify errors, check for originality, and match manuscripts with suitable reviewers, making peer review faster and more efficient. Editors play a central role in the peer review process. They oversee manuscript screening, select reviewers, and make final publication decisions. Editors also mediate disputes, ensure ethical standards, and maintain the quality of the journal. Their leadership is crucial for a fair and effective peer review system. Recognizing the contributions of peer reviewers is important. Some journals offer certificates, public acknowledgments, or even discounts on publication fees. These incentives encourage more experts to participate in peer review, helping maintain a robust and active reviewer pool for biomedical research. Confidentiality is a key principle in peer review. Reviewers must not share or use information from manuscripts for personal gain. Journals enforce strict confidentiality policies to protect authors, intellectual property, and ensure a fair review process. Breaches of confidentiality can damage trust and harm scientific progress. Conflicts of interest can compromise the objectivity of peer review. Reviewers and editors must disclose any financial, personal, or professional relationships that could influence their judgment. Journals have policies to manage conflicts, such as reassigning manuscripts to unbiased reviewers. Transparency in this area is essential for maintaining trust. Timeliness is important in peer review, especially in fast-moving fields like biomedical research. Journals set deadlines for reviewers and editors to keep the process moving. However, delays can still occur due to reviewer availability or complex manuscripts. Efforts to streamline workflows and use technology help reduce turnaround times. Ethical conduct is fundamental to peer review. Reviewers and editors must act with integrity, respect confidentiality, and avoid plagiarism or misconduct. Journals provide ethical guidelines and training to uphold these standards. Maintaining high ethical standards ensures the credibility and reliability of biomedical research. Unfortunately, peer review fraud can occur. This includes fake reviewer identities, manipulated reviews, or undisclosed conflicts of interest. Journals use verification systems and strict policies to detect and prevent fraud. Combating fraud is essential to protect the integrity of the peer review process in scientific literature. Peer review in biomedical research is a global effort. Manuscripts and reviewers come from all over the world, bringing diverse perspectives and expertise. Globalization enriches the review process but also introduces challenges such as language barriers and varying standards. Journals work to ensure fairness and inclusivity across borders. Peer review encourages innovation by challenging researchers to meet high standards and defend their ideas. Constructive criticism from reviewers can lead to new insights and improvements in research design. This dynamic exchange of ideas helps drive progress in biomedical science and leads to better healthcare solutions. New platforms are emerging that support open peer review. These platforms allow for public commenting, transparent reviewer identities, and open discussions about manuscripts. Open peer review can increase accountability and foster collaboration, but it also requires careful moderation to maintain constructive dialogue. During public health emergencies such as pandemics, the peer review process is often accelerated. Rapid review ensures that critical research reaches healthcare professionals quickly. However, speed must be balanced with quality to avoid errors or misinformation. Journals adapt their processes to meet urgent needs while maintaining scientific standards. Future of peer review in biomedical research is evolving. Advances in technology, open science, and global collaboration are shaping new models of peer review. Continuous improvement and adaptation will ensure that peer review remains a vital part of scientific progress, supporting innovation and maintaining trust in biomedical literature. Public trust in biomedical research depends on the integrity of peer review. Transparent, fair, and rigorous review processes reassure the public that published findings are reliable. Maintaining high standards in peer review is essential for the credibility of science and the advancement of healthcare. Peer-reviewed research informs healthcare policy and clinical guidelines. Policymakers rely on the credibility of peer-reviewed studies to make decisions that impact public health. The rigorous review process ensures that only high-quality evidence shapes medical practice and policy. Peer review is also a valuable educational tool. Early career researchers learn from reviewer feedback, improving their research and writing skills. Participating in peer review helps scientists stay current with advances in their field and fosters a culture of continuous learning and improvement. Collaboration is at the heart of peer review. Researchers, reviewers, and editors work together to improve the quality of biomedical literature. This collaborative spirit drives scientific discovery and ensures that research findings are robust, accurate, and impactful. The peer review process is always evolving. Journals, editors, and researchers seek feedback and implement changes to make the system more efficient, fair, and transparent. Continuous improvement ensures that peer review remains relevant and effective in a rapidly changing scientific landscape. In summary, the peer review process is fundamental to the advancement of biomedical research. It upholds scientific standards, protects public trust, and drives innovation. By understanding and supporting peer review, we contribute to a healthier, more informed world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the peer review process in biomedical research.